Yo, what's the crack, lads and ladies? Welcome to another video. Now, I'm going to be talking about a game that was recently announced, actually scratched out, was announced a while ago as Gods and Monsters. But as you can see, and as you all now know, the new name for this title is Immortals Fenyx Rising, where you follow an immortal who's fighting for the gods in this beautiful world. Now, I did get the chance to play this game. I played it for 2.5 hours or so, and I got to traverse the world and use the mechanics and play as the default character that we were given in the demo version. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I'm not going to do a full-blown let's play video on this, but I will showcase some gameplay and I will show you some sceneries and stuff like that that you can expect in this world. Now, this is a non-scripted video, so I may stutter some time here and there, but I'm just going to keep it straight to the point and tell you exactly what I thought about it. Now, before I do talk about this, I want to just briefly give you guys my review of the Ubisoft Forward event that happened last night. Now, before any of you say anything, yes, this video is sponsored by Ubisoft, but I am not being paid by them. So don't expect this to be a positive review by any means, but of the game that I played, that has, some positives and negatives. But for the Ubisoft Forward event that we witnessed last night, I can honestly say that I thought it was a load of shite. I really thought it was crap. I didn't think it was necessary. I felt like it was lackluster. It lacked so much that the whole world was expecting something exciting and fresh from Ubisoft, considering this was the second event and it's 2 months out from the next gen launches. So I thought this was very strange and completely unnecessary considering what they showed. Now, my biggest issue with Ubisoft Forward last night was Watch Dogs Legion, and the fact they were showing more of that game.
It's time to check in on the dystopian police state of future London.
Oh, no more Watch Dogs! We've seen enough of Watch Dogs already. Come on, Ubisoft. Is this the only game you got or something? And some rerun footage that we've already seen. To the point where I feel like Watch Dogs Legion has become bland, because I think everybody knows everything there is to know about that game, and it hasn't even hit the shelves yet. So that was a big no-no by Ubisoft, and I really don't think they should have showed any more Watch Dogs Legion. And to be quite honest, I would have been happier to see more Assassin's Creed Valhalla, even though I think they've shown too much of that too at this stage, considering the amount of marketing they have done with it and how many creators have had early access to that game and showcased a lot of the game mechanics and the game world itself. So I really think Watch Dogs Legion did not need to be in that event last night, and as a matter of fact, I don't think the event should have happened. Now, the Stanzas Time remake was something that was announced, and I did get extremely excited about it. A dear friend. Oh, this is it! This is it! No shit! Oh! Okay! Whoa! Okay, I'm ready! But I genuinely thought that that deserved its own trailer of some kind on social media. Maybe on Twitter, or maybe just a YouTube trailer upload. That would have been it, that would have been fine, and it would have been received a lot better. And it definitely didn't fit in this bland event that we got last night. So I really failed to see why this event even happened, because they only showed two new things. That Riders Republic game that I have absolutely no interest in playing, and of course the Stanzas Time remake, which is an IP that I've loved for many years, and finally Ubisoft are figuring out what to do with the character. Bring it back in the same game that everybody loved, except remake it, which is great. But my biggest negative of what they showed of that game last night was the fact that it was still in alpha phase, and there is no plans of it coming out on next-gen platforms, which is really weird, and I don't understand why. I mean, why would you even show the game if it's not even finished yet? I feel like Ubisoft didn't really have anything fresh to show, so they said, fuck it, let's just show what we're still working on, which is Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake. And yes, I am still excited, and I'm very pumped for that. And I'm looking forward to it, because Prince of Persia is one of my favorite IPs from Ubisoft, and it was something that I was a hardcore fan of before the Assassin's Creed games came out. And we know where the inspiration for Assassin's Creed came from. Of course, Prince of Persia. So that was obviously something that I really enjoyed about the event, only because I'm a huge fan of that IP. Now, another thing that people are very excited about, of course, is the Scott Pilgrim Complete Edition. Finally, this character is making its return for gamers to play. Now, I myself must play this because I've never actually played Scott Pilgrim. So for me, I wasn't too excited when it was revealed because I never really have any attachments to that IP or those characters or anything like that. And of course, that infamous line that everybody is memeing now that was at the event was,
"This next one is for the fans."
And then you go ahead and show an esports ad for Rainbow Six Siege. Why though? You see, this is the thing about these events. I feel like you're trying to promote things that nobody really cares about because it's the only way you can get that promotion in there whilst there's a lot of people watching you. So you want to kind of capitalize on that or something. I don't know, but I really don't think that fitted in this event whatsoever. So overall, Ubisoft Forward last night was a big pile of shite, to be quite honest, and that is my brutally honest opinion. As I said in my stream last night, I will not be afraid to express my honest opinions, no matter who or what is, hosting the event, or even if they have approached me and give me early access to games and stuff. I will be honest, because that is what I'm supposed to do, and that's exactly what I'm doing here today. But anyway, that aside, that is my 2 cents on the event. I want to talk about Immortals Fenyx Rising. Now, this is a game, like I said, I was fortunate to get early access to an early build, a demo, if you will, of the game. And I got to play it for about 2.5 hours or so. Now, how these capture sessions work is that we're given different time slots where we can actually play the game at a certain time for 2.5 hours. We have an agent on the other side who is monitoring the game, making sure there's no hiccups or any bugs like that. And if there is any issues that we stumble upon, we ask for help and they can reset the game and we can continue playing. So I got a little idea of what this game is like. Now, I think a lot of people are going to compare this game to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is a game that I have not played, but I couldn't help but compare the art style to that game. So essentially, it is a little bit of a copycat when it comes to how the game looks and how it plays. There is different abilities that you can use that are called godlike abilities that you can, I think, unlock as you play through the game, because the build that we got to play, we were kind of already in the story and we already had loads of weapons and armor and stuff like that. But it gave you an idea of what kind of hotkeys there are, what kind of weapons you can use, and what kind of abilities you can use. Now, it took me a little while to get used to the combat system, but once I did, I genuinely had a lot of fun with it. Like, I think this game is a lot of fun. Now, do I see this game as a huge AAA title? Not really. It didn't feel like that, because I've played a lot of RPG-style games where you can traverse worlds, and this game didn't have that similar AAA feeling to me. And I don't think I would pay full price, to play this game. I think this game, if it came out on Game Pass, then I'd pick it up and I'll play it and I'd probably enjoy it. But if this comes out with a full €70 price tag, then I'm not picking this up. And that's just me being honest, because I feel like I've played other games that are better than this. And I'm sure any Legend of Zelda fans out there that have played Breath of the Wild are probably either not gonna play this game or just not pay for it unless it is something that's a part of Game Pass, which I'm sure it probably will be. Now, I enjoyed the game. I like the combat system. I like the narration of Zeus and Prometheus. They're very, very comedic, and they constantly commentate throughout your gameplay. Now, I know this is something that was specifically made for the demo version, and they do kind of make some subtle hints to the release dates and stuff like that. And it did mention holiday 2020. And they did announce a release date for December 3rd, I think it was. And I genuinely thought this was going to be somewhat of a launch title, but it's not, which I think is a bit weird, because this game was announced a while ago as Gods and Monsters. And when I first seen, the announcement trailer for it, I got really excited. I remember my reaction to it at E3, and I was super pumped and excited about it. And then when Ubisoft finally reached out to me and said, do you want to try it out? I was really excited, because I said, geez, this is that game. I remember this game. I really want to play this game. And I played it. I enjoyed it. but I don't think it's as good as I thought it was going to be, which is a bit of a shame. But overall, I think this is a great experience for anybody that's looking for something to do to pass time, or if you're one of those completionist type gamers. It definitely has all of those elements that you see from other RPGs, from collecting and upgrading your weapons and your armor and stuff like that. You know, with a bit of a comedic feel to it. There is some things that I didn't like about it, though. I do think the character model for the main protagonist of this game isn't exactly flushed out completely. I think there's more detail that's missing there. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the hair, or the character model itself just doesn't flow at me. But other characters that you see throughout the game, some of the enemies even look really, really cool. And the overall art style of the game is very enticing, and I think a lot of people of all ages will definitely like to traverse this world. Now, since I am talking about traversing and traveling, that was another thing that I didn't particularly like about this game. Now, when you watch the trailers and stuff like that, you'll see that you do have wings and you can fly around, but it's very, very limited to whatever stamina level you are at. So your stamina meter does reduce as you're gliding through the air. Now, once you start gliding, you really get a feel of how big the world is, and your stamina is nowhere near enough to glide quickly through the world. So you end up depending on your mount quite heavily to traverse the world. And another thing that I found very strange was the fast traveling features in it. It doesn't seem to work all the time, and only works in specific locations that you've already been. And before you say it, I know that's the majority of RPG games, and that's usually the case anyway. You have to have travel there first in order to fast travel there. But there is certain places that you may have traveled to that you can't fast travel to if you're not there anymore, which is really weird. So you're always on your mount, which is cool. And the fact that you can summon your mount on will and you never have to go looking for it or anything like that, which is also really cool. But I felt like it was almost a grind to get from one place to another, especially trying to do the quests. I felt like a long time of traveling. And I felt like the majority of my capture session was getting from A to B, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. There is a lot of puzzles and stuff in the game, which is cool, and platforming and all that stuff. So like I said, it is something that I think all ages will enjoy. But some of the puzzles were a bit silly and very, very simple, and it wouldn't take too long to figure out. So I guess it's kind of catering towards a younger age to play. Maybe to play with families and take turns and stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know. But I didn't think it was anything too difficult to figure out and stuff like that. But I enjoyed it. I genuinely did. I think this game is fun, and I think it is a game that I probably will pick up on Game Pass. And I don't know if they're going to do like any special editions and stuff like that. I can't see it happening. And I hope there's no microtransactions when it comes to, you know, the vanity items like armor and weapons and stuff like that. Hopefully it's all in-game unlockables, because that's something that I really appreciate, especially in the likes of games that have come out recently like Ghost of Tsushima, which I'm definitely calling it here now is Game of the Year 2020, because that game is flawless in my opinion. It has everything you want. It has, you know, you unlock everything in-game. It's got a satisfying battle mechanic. It's got such incredible storytelling, and you know, finding everything and looking for collectibles and stuff like that is truly enjoyable, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful game. So when you come out of playing a game of that caliber and that standard, it's very hard to take other games like it seriously. And you know, I give it to Ubisoft. They're trying something new here. And, you know, it is an interesting game. It's got a very friendly, very vivid art style. And I like it. But I don't think it's anything special. I don't think it is. I don't think it stands out enough for me to be like, this is a go-to game. This is a game I need to get once next gen is out. I don't. I think this is a game that you'd pick up if it's cheap, or if it goes on sale, or if it's on Game Pass. And that's just my opinion on it. So Immortals Fenyx Rising, also, or should I say previously known as Gods and Monsters, is a good time. But it's not the best game in the world, and I think I need to play a little bit more to tell you if it is worth getting. And that is my opinions. So lads, there you go. That was my opinions on the Ubisoft Forward event last night and Immortals Fenyx Rising. I hope you all enjoy what I had to say. I just wanted to be brutally honest about it and get the video out there because Ubisoft asked me to make a video on it, and here it is. Whether they like it or not. Anyway, lads, I'm going to end it. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay geeky, stay cool, be awesome, and be happy, and I'll see you dudes in my next video. See you later, dudes!